you stay? Why won't you stay? Won't you stay?
Hi, mister.
Oh, there is a sheep.
Hello.
There's two. Look at him, he's lovely.
I know. Wow.
Hey, buddy. How you?
You're so cool.
The lovely eyes.
I know.
I hear a chicken.
I know. I am back in my hotel room. It's actually a different day because I, again, was a little bit tired after we got back from our adventures. And so I am here for a little recap and a little haul. First, I'll talk a little bit about where I am. I think I mentioned earlier that I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Lancaster County, actually Lancaster, the city, with my husband. He's here for work, and therefore I just kind of tagged along. I've actually been here before, following along my husband for work. So, but this is the first time that I kind of went looking for yarn. I think the previous time I was trying out like pretzels and looking at quilt shops and doing a lot of local things, but I didn't really find a lot of yarn shops. So this time I went specifically looking for yarn shops, and I was really excited to find a couple in the area. Some of them weren't open until Thursday, and I went on a Tuesday, so I wasn't able to check out, some of the ones that I found on Google Maps, but I did check out two that were open on Tuesday, and the first one was Flying Fibers, and the second one was Rivertown Knits. And Lancaster, you've got game, I have to say. And I didn't even really realize that there's just a lot of like cool fiber yarn producers in the area. Maybe not in Lancaster, but as I was on Google Maps, I saw that Kelburn Woolens is sort of in the Philadelphia area. And so, yeah, you've got game and you've got fiber game. And I was really excited and pleasantly surprised. And I was lucky enough that my husband got out early from work, and so he was able to come with me, which was really nice because, he really likes coming on these adventures. Even though he doesn't knit, he really likes to just come and accompany me when I go hunting for yarn. And this time I was looking for a yarn for a project for him, which I mentioned in a previous video. He requested a hat. He wanted a fisherman's beanie, something cable knit. So I was on the hunt for a yarn for that. I asked him what colors he was looking for, and he said something maybe green or navy blue. And then we actually, right before we left for our yarn hunt, went on Ravelry, and I went through a couple patterns, and we didn't really find anything for a while. And then he found the pattern, but it was a vintage pattern. It was a Patterns UK pattern from the 1960s, and it was supposed to be a free pattern on the Patterns website, but the link was no longer good. So I was like Googling all over trying to find this pattern. Eventually I found it on Etsy, and I purchased a digital copy of the magazine that it came in, so that I now have 3 patterns for hats. One is the cabled pattern. I'll put it up here, that he wanted, and also one, I guess, that's more of a honeycomb, I think, pattern for an adult woman. I mean, I think you could, make it unisex in some kind of way, but suggested in this magazine was like an adult men's, adult woman's, and then a child's hat. So yeah, I was able to find the pattern, and then we set off looking for the yarn for this hat. The first place we went was Flying Fibers in Wrightsville, Pennsylvania. I think that's in York County, but I'm not super familiar with this area. But it was absolutely, you've probably seen footage already at the beginning of this video. It was absolutely charming, lovely, just welcoming of a space. Like, as soon as I started driving up, my husband's like, you need to take like video of this, because he was actually going to back up and let me take more video, and he slowly drove. Thank you, husband, for thank you for helping me with my filming. And I really I love that he is thinking about these things as well. But it was just something out of a movie, fairy tale book. And the shop itself is small, but so quaint, gorgeously like outfitted. And as you drive up, there's chickens in front and like a cute little parking area. And then we got out of the car and there were sheep in this pen, and it was just so nice. We were talking to Irina, who is the proprietor at Flying Fibers. I think it's a mother-daughter team, and she's the daughter. And I think she said that the male sheep was, I might be wrong, might be something like Ferdinand. I do remember the name of the female sheep. It was Elvira. And they came up to us. They were so sweet. I was telling my husband, I really want sheep now. They were so cute and so marvelously fluffy. And then we went into the store. We saw chickens. We saw guardian geese. And they were guarding the chickens. They were doing their job. And Irina was so welcoming, sweet, so helpful. I told her I was doing a browse, but that I was like looking for a specific project. She was telling me that they had just gotten back from Rhinebeck a little bit ago, and therefore were resetting up some things like having laundered their samples. So she apologized for there not being as many samples in the shop, but there were still samples there. And, you know, I just felt like the shop was just gorgeously appointed, just really well thought out, well curated. I love the selection. It's kind of a small space, but I really like that. Sometimes you need a small space that's really well curated. It actually helps me make decisions because I felt like I could trust their choices. I think having looked at their website, I think they really try to highlight local fiber businesses, and I think that's great, but definitely the quality is there. And immediately we were looking at a couple options, but I think I just had green in mind for my husband's hat, and he definitely had green in mind. And we found the perfect, I mean, we have to cast it on, we have to swatch it and see. And we ended up picking up this Highland wool. It's 100% virgin wool, around 200 yards. It's, oh gosh, is this worsted? I'm guessing it's worsted. Anyways, it feels like a little bit rustic, but like in a good way. I think it's going to be really warm. It says it's long wearing, durable, a workhorse, and there's this really gorgeous green color. It's like a mossy kind of green, and I think it's going to knit up beautifully into that hat that I showed you, and the cabled hat, so I'm super excited. Also because I was on the road, I was chatting with Irina about how I don't really like doing hats because I don't like using double pointed needles, and she was like, oh, why don't you just do magic loop? And I was like, magic loop? That's my favorite. I love magic loop. So she was like, yeah, you could just do magic loop with hats, which I don't know why I never thought about it. I thought, oh, like something about hats. I've only done like one hat before. I was like, it has to be double pointed. So I ended up buying the needles that I need for this hat. It's going to be US 6, and I got Chaogu. And fun fact, when I was buying the needles, I was like, this feels vaguely familiar. And then I realized we actually stopped at their booth at Rhinebeck so that Mallory, my friend Mallory, could buy needles from their booth. So it just felt like so fun that we had been at their booth at Rhinebeck, and then now we were in their shop just a few weeks later in Pennsylvania. I was like, the world is so small. This is crazy. But I got US 6 Chaogu, in the 4-inch. And then I'm really excited about this. I got the Swift 360 needles, which Irina said would make it easier. They are memory free, they twist around, and I think this will make it so they become, like she was saying with Magic Loop, there's tendency when you get smaller and smaller that they can get unscrewed. This design will sort of negate that a little bit, so I'm really excited to try those out. Yeah, that's what I got at Flying Fibers. I got a little ruler. Oh wait, I got an actual ruler. I forgot this was another thing that I was looking for when I got there, is that I left my tape measure at home. I couldn't remember the word for tape measure, so I asked her, do you have any floppy rulers? And I forgot there are floppy rulers, but I was really trying to say tape measure, but they didn't have any in stock at the time. But they had these wooden rulers, which I think were made by Katrinkles for their shop, but this was also a fun little souvenir, something that I actually really needed for one of my projects at the current time. So yeah, that's what I got at the shop. And then from there, we headed over to Marietta, Pennsylvania, because there was another yarn shop we wanted to check out, Rivertown Knits, which shares a space with Storykeeper, which is a bookstore. And it's another small space, very cozy, very like warm. There's a little it's just like a little shop in an alleyway. And you know, the person helping us, I don't think I got her name, and she was there with her cute baby, and it was just absolutely an adorable experience. But by that time I had already gotten my yarn for the hat. I did not really want to purchase yarn without a plan in mind, but then I remembered I needed cable needles for my cable hat. So she did happen to have some in stock. Let me go find them. So I couldn't think what size cable needle I would need. Seemed like somewhere in between. So I got both because they were both $2.50. And my husband was like, you'll use it. And then, but then I also was looking around and I found a cute little project bag. And this one was, we thought it was $8.50. And then when she was ringing it up, she found a tag and it was $6.50. And I was like, oh my gosh, you can ring it up for $8.50, but she rung it up for $6.50, and it just felt like everything was so affordable, and it was so sweet of her to honor the lower price. But I was like, how are you gonna make money? But yeah, this was the place that we went. It was Rivertown Knits. I don't know if the glare is kind of covering it. But yes, lovely yarn store, really like nice, affordable yarns. Small selection, but also like I think a fun collection of colors and textures. So I, by that time, again, I wasn't really looking for yarn. I was looking more for notions and project bags and sort of fiber accessories. So I didn't really look as in depth into their yarn selection, but I definitely would go back if I was in the area. And I just think really cute. Also, like, check out their books as well. They had a small little room in the back. They had some books, and I thought the concept and the execution was just lovely, and I just had the best time. Now I want to talk about what I've been working on this week. And as I said, I'm not at home, so I've had to be smart in terms of packing what projects I could bring along. And therefore, I've only really been working on 2 projects and have made some significant strides in these projects. The first one I will mention is the Harris hood that I started knitting up with the yarn that I got at the New England, or the Fiber Festival of New England, and it's almost done. Yeah, this is where I'm at. Really just have to like finish the ribbing on this front part and then bind it off, and then it'll be done, and I'll just like quickly try it. This is gonna look ridiculous, but it's so soft, and I'll quickly, oh my god, now I have mohair fibers on my nose. I'll quickly try it on so that you can kind of get a feel for how it looks. I ran out of one of the yarns I was holding, the Juniper Moon Farm, I think it's the Moonshine yarn. I ran out of this one. I didn't run out of it entirely. I just ran out of it in terms of what I brought on the trip. I have another skein at home, and so I will put that to good use. I think I'll have a lot of it left over, so I'll have to think about what to use it for after. I'll have to think about what other project to use it on, but here is how it looks. Oh, did I lose some stitches? Oh, I did. Oh, I'll pick those up again. I should have put this on barber cord. Oh my god, my unwoven ends. Okay. I think it's so cute. I think it's so cute. It's so warm. It's going to be such a fun winter accessory. I'm just really excited for when it gets cold and I can whip this out. I think it's going to be such a cool accent piece, and just very practical actually. I just love when my ears are covered in the winter times. They tend to get cold. But yeah, you can kind of get a sense of what it's going to look like. I don't know how much of this ribbing I'm going to do because I feel like, oh, I think I have to fold it back, so it's going to be a thicker brim, I guess you could call it. So yeah, but I think I'm going to be knitting a lot of hoods. I'm very much into this. Okay, let me try and get it off without losing more stitches. All right, let me just quickly pick up these stitches before I lose any more. Okay, fantastic. All right. Oh, my hair. All right. And then I showed this in my previous video as well. Oop. My Yule vest, Christmas vest, is nearing completion, really. Like, I think, you know, I'm already, this is the back, this is the front. I've started on the neck. I bound off for the neck, and I'm, you know, like I'm knitting up sort of the shoulder area. I'm trying not to lose my stitches here too. And, okay, so the story behind this is, I don't know where I showed you, I think I showed you up to the stars last time. So I knit this green sort of fun Celtic looking pattern, and then I was like, I'm going to say, like, mark the year Christmas 2025. Ooh, let me just get the yarn out of the way. I'm gonna mark the year Christmas 2025, and I got it. I knit it up, and then I realized, I didn't read the pattern very closely because I was just too excited about the color work. And yeah, I think what ended up happening was I just didn't start the decreases. There were some decreases for the armholes, and I didn't start those, and therefore I was just knitting a rectangle. It was going to be shapeless. So I had to rip it back to this pattern down here and where the armholes start, and basically rip out all of my color work that's at Christmas 2025 and re-knit it. So in the last couple of days I've re-knit that, and then I did, you know, these patterns as well. This is gingerbread men and women. So cute. So I'm really excited to see how this comes along in the next week, and been enjoying it so far. Like, I just having so much fun with the color work. It is very heavy. It's just like, you know, like the strands are just, you know, making it pretty weighty, but I think that just means it's going to be really warm in the cold winter air. And I do have a plan for like a deadline that I need this done by, which is going to be about a week before Christmas, when I go to the Christmas markets in New York with some friends, and I'm going to wear this. So I definitely have to get it done by then, but I think for sure it'll be done before then, barring any mishaps, barring any more need to rip things back. I think I mentioned this before, I don't know, but the thing that I'm most worried about is that I am going to have to steek these armholes, and I have never steeked before. I know that there's some steeking controversy in the knitting community I won't go into, but I have personally never steeked, so I'm excited to try it, but a little apprehensive. But yeah, that's what I have with me in Pennsylvania. I will say, going back to the Harris hood, this is a fun design, really quick to work up. Like, I think I got this far in like the span, I mean, of a couple days. That's, you know, including a weekend where I did a lot of knitting. But yeah, totally doable over a couple days if you have, you know, like a good weekend and some time to sit and watch TV and do it. It's a fun pattern. Highly recommend. I'll give a full review when like it's, you know, fully done, blocked, you know, and I've worn it. But so far, I'm very excited about this. And yeah, thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello.
Retake.